Lots of stuff has to do with the perceived decreases in standard of living for people too. Inflation, lockdowns, etc. have left people very upset, and they don't know how to explain it. The decrease in people's perception of their living conditions is one of the primary drivers. Yeah, I know, that's true. Hard to say whether the decrease in standard of living is real or entirely made up by people abusing. Yeah, that's a really hard one too, and I don't even know what the correct answer is to that. Like, is there a real decrease in the standard of living? People will measure it some ways, like, well, we don't have as many access to like houses. And it's like, I guess that's kind of true, but you also have like cell phones and internet, right? That's like a poor person today in the United States. If I had to guess, broadly speaking, I think a poor person today in the United States probably lives a more luxury-filled life. So things like cell phones, probably access to like fast food, if you consider that like a luxury, probably has more of that, my guess would be, than a poor person like 100 years ago. That'd be my guess. But yeah, I don't know. It's oh, I feel like there was a study that I read on this a while ago. People's perceptions determine how they, oh no wait. People hear radio, feel about economy. I feel like I read at one point that like the radio programs you listen to would actually determine how you feel about the economy. That like if you listen to a lot of negative radio, you might feel like if you ask like a certain conservative today, how do you think we're doing with inflation? They're like, inflation is worse than it ever has been. It's like, what if I told you that like year over year inflation's actually dropped to what it was like before COVID? Would you believe that? And it's like, absolutely, that's no way that's true, right? But they don't know the numbers. However, to be fair to that, no, there's no being fair to that. But I will say that be careful about inflation, because inflation is also, when we talk about inflation is a broad number that encompasses every part of the economy. But some people might feel inflation harder than others depending on what part they're focused on. So for instance, I think inflation in housing and education, is education included in year over year, or is this like bread and, is this like the basket of items number? I'd have to go and look between the different measures. But I know that different types of inflation are localized to different people. So like one individual might be feeling no inflation or negative inflation. And another individual, maybe who like just bought a house or something, they might feel inflation is like 20%, you know? But how people feel about inflation might largely come down to how people actually just how they get their news, you know? Yeah. The perception is really, really important there. My gas is still over $5 a gallon, driving me insane. Yeah, I don't know where you're from, maybe. I remember that I was road tripping or driving or something, and I remember I was asking people, like, do you think that gas is okay or is gas fucked? I don't remember what state I was in, but I feel like gas got to below, like, $3 a gallon, I think? Did it get that low in the past year? And people were still like, no, gas is like $10 a gallon. I'm like, is it? Where? People are saying gas in California is high, but I feel like gas in California was always high. But anyway, it's really, yeah, I don't know. It's perception is reality. I say that a lot. Like how you perceive things will literally determine how you feel about things. Also, something I said to Xena and Darius, and I will continue to say this, okay? I'm taking a harder stance on this. Poor people love to be poor, okay? Poor people make a lot of poor decisions, and they love bathing, basking, reveling in their poverty, okay? I don't know why. Well, it's probably an education thing. But, like, my God, the financial decisions that people make being poor sometimes blow my fucking mind. If that's the case, then welfare isn't the answer, so... Oh, shit, you just fucking owned me, dude. I thought welfare was the answer to all of our problems. Are you saying there needs to be, like, more comprehensive education or controls on how poor people spend their money because they make really poor financial decisions? Jesus, you just blew my fucking mind. I want to go consider that for a second. I'm sorry, you just, like, you radically reshaped my whole worldview, because I'm a big fan of just indiscriminately, like, giving money to everybody until it solves all the problems, but thank you, jeez.